I discovered I had sickle cell in my GS3. I think it was my GS3, yes. Because while we were going to school in GS1, they told us to do all these HIV tests, sickle cell tests. And then, surprisingly, my genotype was AA in GS1. So, I've not lived with that mentality of sickle cell. But then, ever since, I've always had this waist pain. Anytime I play football, I'll have this waist pain and the rest. But then it was only up until GS3 when I had a severe, I don't know what to call it, a severe crisis. The pain was just too much. I was telling them to cut my hand, cut my hand. And so they took me to the hospital, checked me up, and then they tested my genotype again. I think that was when I discovered that was SS. I'm a medical student, so I have this knowledge of medicine. So someone can actually test AA at a point in their life, especially in childhood, because there's a blood component they call hemoglobin, and then hemoglobin, there is now a fetal hemoglobin. Fetal hemoglobin means like when you are still in your mother's womb, the child is called a fetus. But then that fetal hemoglobin helps you to manage the sickle cell condition. That means it maxes the whole sickle cell gene, and then it can make the test seem to be AA because the cells are not sickled. So a fetal hemoglobin can actually, it's in childhood and it's supposed to actually diminish. It's supposed to reduce while you're growing up. So that can be a factor that can cause someone to still test AA. And then, like we all know, error from the lab scientist can also be a factor. And then the last factor is that my parents can frame me. They can just make me not to feel bad, or they may do it to just, some parents can be funny. They just want to protect the child, not to feel somehow or less of themselves, or stuff like that. Maybe they just tell the lab scientists, I beg, go make these results be AA. I don't know. I think these are the only three options that have come to my mind, the possibilities. I think with the current understanding of what sickle cell is, I think I've always been sickle cell because I always had this waist pain. Probably if I play football, I'll tell my dad to come and massage my waist for me. And then it was just the fact that I had to start taking drugs now, with the consciousness that, okay, I am sickle cell, and the fact that, okay, these are certain things I should not be doing or I should be doing just to stay healthy. So for me, it was just the being knowledgeable that, okay, this is something that you have now discovered you have to now live your life in a certain path. My mom is AS and my dad is AS. So obviously there's a 25% chance of giving birth to an SS child in every pregnancy. I am the first child, I'm the first son. I had a sister, a younger sister. We were only two. I am a younger sister, and she died also without me having the knowledge that she was sickle cell, but I think she was, with my current understanding. So we're both just the both of us. I am my sister, and then she's late now. I think she died 2006. And she was 9 years old or so, and so she was my younger sister, my only biological sister. And then she died from sickle cell. My family has always been loving, but then I think people were becoming more caring. They were becoming more caring, more considerate. Hey, what have you eaten? Have you taken your drugs? Have you eaten? Don't go and play football. Don't go and do this. Don't go and do that. So the love was actually more, and then the care was more. So that was a good treatment so far. After I discovered I had sickle cell, so that was just it. The hardest part for me was admitting that I was sickle cell. And one person that will not admit that I was sickle cell. So just imagine, all your life, okay, not all your life, but most of my life, I was already living with the fact that I was AA from GS1 to GS3 before the crisis happened. And I'm someone that don't like to be pitied. If they are giving people to go and fetch water, I want to go and fetch my own water too. If they are saying people should sweep, I want to sweep too. I don't want to say, okay, because you are weak or because you cannot do this one, don't go and do it. When other people are doing, I like to do my own too. So the hardest part was admitting that I was sickle cell. And one person that will not tell you, I will not tell you that I'm sickle cell. For what? The thing that changed mostly was the fact that there was now a lot of restriction. You're not allowed, not that I will not go against it, but you're not allowed to play football. I will still go and play my football, sure. You're not allowed to do strenuous activities. You are now supposed to be taking drugs, folic acid, and the rest every single day. And I hated drugs, God. I think the day I overcame that drug issue was very dramatic. I can remember that day vividly. So, for me, it was just the routine of taking drugs, being careful. I think at the point the doctor said, don't eat plantain or don't eat things that has iron too much. I was now wondering, why will I stop eating plantain? Or why will I stop eating some kind of food? Because of iron, because of this. So it is just the restriction of what to do, what not to do. That's the thing that was so obvious for me that changed. It's actually a thin line between sympathy and empathy. But when you sympathize with someone, I think there's a lot of pity inside. Excuse me. So there's a lot of pity inside sympathy. You're kind of sorry for the person. That okay, sorry, this has happened. This is the kind of condition you're living in. This kind of life, the kind of pain you're going through in your life. You're kind of sympathizing with the person. But I think we encourage more of empathy because you're not pitiful. You're not pitying the person. I think pity is not a very good thing. Being pitiful of people. You just know that, okay, this person is going through a lot in their life. And then you're trying to make them feel better. You're trying to not add more salt to their injury. You're trying to, help them live with the kind of condition they're already living with, but then in a more easier way. So you are empathizing with them. You're not sorry for them per se, but then you kind of feel their pain emotionally, and then you kind of relate yourself to what they're going through, and then you encourage them. Concerning the cliche about, okay, you die by 25 years or you die before you're 30 years, personally to me, I didn't get that kind of statement, but I heard it from a couple of people saying that they were told those kind of painful words. Those are very, very saddening things to hear from a human being telling another person. This is not even HIV. This is not even, I don't know how to call it. This is not even heart disease. This is sickle cell. So those cliches, I think they exist. They very much exist because some of my friends have told me that my sickle cell friends have told me that this is the kind of thing they go and pass through. And funny enough, this year I've lost two of my friends. One, she actually died before her 25th birthday, and then the other one died at 30 years old. Even as these kind of records are being kept, there are records that people have lived till 90 years. There are records that people are in their 60th birthdays. There are records that people have lived a very long and healthy life, even with sickle cell. So I don't think this cliche is necessary. It's just downgrading for a human to tell another human that kind of thing with a condition that is manageable like sickle cell. So there's no kind of justification for that kind of word. I have not personally heard of people say that sickle cell people are evil spirits, but I think I've heard of walking corpse. And then I feel like in the very rural areas where there's less knowledge and less exposure, when people give birth to children and then children are just repeatedly falling sick, repeatedly in pain, in crisis, no hospital to explain the condition, no doctor to explain the condition, no exposure to medical practice, and medical care. I think they can as well conclude that this is actually a bad omen to the society, and they will go and dump the child in the evil forest or just go and kill the child. So I think these are possibilities, and I think they have happened in the past. But personally, no one close to me has said that. But I know they exist. People say that sickle cell people are walking corpses, These are things that people face every day. And it's very sad. With the level of exposure we have in this 21st century, it's not supposed to be so. Personally, I think some people are doing much with the campaign for sickle cell, but it is not enough. It's like saying, can you compare any campaign they do than like the campaign they do for elections? Let them take our campaigns to the standard of election campaigns. Because people are dying every day, every month, every year in Nigeria and in the western part of Africa and in Africa as a whole. So I think more can still be done. The awareness is getting hotter, but it can be more, it can be better. I know of NGOs on Instagram, on Twitter and the rest, and Facebook and the likes. But I think it can be better. People need to get to understand the kind of pain sickle cell patients pass through, and we can avoid it. AS, don't marry. It's as simple as that. And if the campaign is better, and then we take it to the rural areas, people that don't have knowledge, take it to their chiefs or the elders that have little knowledge. You pass the knowledge to them, whether in their dialect or in English that they can understand, and then let them pass it to their community members. So I think that much can be done if it's taken to, because some of these cases are unnoticed. Children dying without even diagnosing sickle cell, especially in the rural areas where there's no medical care. So I think if we do more, if we pump in more money by those that can afford it, like those that are very wealthy in the society, help us pump in more money into the awareness for sickle cell. And then those that are already doing a lot, they can take it to the rural area. I think it will help a lot. It will help a lot. I don't think love is enough for the gambling theory. Why am I laughing? I think I have a similar experience. Love is not enough for the gambling theory, but if they have the knowledge of the kind of danger they are going into, and if they have accepted the possibilities that can medically intervene in the situation, I think knowledge is enough. Love is not enough, but knowledge is enough. If they have the knowledge of what is possible, the prenatal testing, the whole getting to select the kind of fetus that grows in the woman's stomach during pregnancy before allowing her to take the child to term. So if they can go through all these kind of stressful and expensive procedures and they still want to go ahead, knowledge is enough, but love is not enough. You cannot say, okay, because I love this girl so much or I love this guy so much, you damn medicine and you damn the whole possibility of you giving birth to so many sickle cell children. It's not wise. Spirituality is not enough too. It's not wise. God can change your genotype. True, fine. I believe in that too. But can we wait to see God change your genotype before you decide to marry? So I think there are options. So if they have the finance, because it's very expensive, it's not a cheap something. If they have the finance to fund it, if they have the knowledge and this time to go through the kind of pain they will go through to achieve that, knowledge is enough, but I don't think love is enough. The truth is that it is 25% chance of getting a sickle cell child in every pregnancy. So if a woman is pregnant, she has a 25% chance of giving birth to a sickle cell child. And we are not God. We don't go and do the mathematics or the science or the spiritual thing inside the woman's womb or anything. It is a probability. So we can't say we can allow these two AS and AS to marry because we know that, okay, there's a possibility that they can give birth to AS children, or there's a possibility they can give birth to AAAA children. It's still gambling. There are people that all their children have been SS. There are people that all their children have been AA. They did not do it by themselves. It's just God. So I don't think science can say, okay, because this is the chance of possibility, we should now allow AS to marry. It doesn't make sense. It will fail, except they are doing the genetic prenatal testing. That's the only thing. My relationship with the opposite sex, it hasn't been so good. Neither has it been bad, actually. But I think a couple of people have said no to me. What I'm not sure is if it was because I was sickle cell they said no, or if truly they were not ready or stuff like that. But I know of people that have actually been told no just because they are sickle cell, or they were having a great relationship, but once they just exposed their genotype, everything went sour. For me, I've not been in any relationship where, because I exposed my genotype, it went bad. Actually, I've actually had a couple of people where they will say, okay, I beg you, I am AA, now let's be in a relationship. But then you have to be attracted to the other person too before you say yes. So relationship has been tough for us generally. But then for me, I think it hasn't been that tough. It has been okay for me so far. My advice to sickle cell patients, please, brothers and sisters, can we be strong? It's not easy living with sickle cell, but can we be strong? When I mean can we be strong, like there's some things that would help us to be strong for ourselves. If you find something doing, like I've been in a situation where I've been in hospital for 6 months plus, and I'm a medical student, but then I found something doing even on the hospital bed. So if you can find something doing, even though you're sick, with your phone, the world is going global now. There are things you can do online. There are things that can keep you busy. And even that as some are keeping you busy, some can even be giving you money on your bed. So if we can be strong and then keep ourselves busy, it will go a long way to help our mental health, and then to also help our parents who are trying to financially cater for our health needs. And then to the society, please, stigmatization is enough. I've had this experience with this lecturer that we were in the theater. I think they were doing something, a procedure, and then he was like, someone should come and help me turn this patient, and I was just going to help. He was like, no, you go shift. That broke my heart. That was very painful. And then he now called one of my classmates to come and do it. It's not as if it was to do something magical, just to turn a patient. And then he stigmatized me in a very brutal way. So I think the stigma is not necessary. It's not helping them, it's not helping me, it's not helping anybody. So I think we should have knowledge, and we should use our knowledge wisely, because this is even a doctor I'm talking about that stigmatized. So it's not even about the knowledge now, it's about being emotionally intelligent. So if we have emotional intelligence, we will understand how to go about treating people the way they should be treated, and not because they have a condition, then you stigmatize them. I am Hayford, Onwuzurike, a 600 level medical student. I have sickle cell, but I am human first before I am sickle cell. So if you cannot add to my smile and my joy, please don't add to my pain, because the pain is daily. It's not as if there's one day that I don't have pain and then you're trying to give me pain that day, let me just manage the pain for that day. So let's just try and make every sickle cell patient around us smile a lot. And I would say, you are more than a conqueror, and I am more than a conqueror. Thank you very much.